as I have said before, it is not the actions of Lucy Letby that I am scrutinising. It is the actions of all those who were in the hospital and within the terms of reference, whose actions I am reviewing, what they did at the time, in the light of what they knew at the time, and in the light of what they should have known at the time. But perhaps principal and most obvious amongst the concessions made by just about everyone is the acknowledgement that there was a total failure of safeguarding at every level.
That there was Lady Justice Thirlwall, delivering her closing remarks to the inquiry into how serial killer nurse Lucy Letby was able to murder and harm babies at the Countess of Chester Hospital. Since September, the inquiry has heard from more than 130 witnesses, including parents, hospital executives and staff, and received nearly 400 written statements. There have been a lot of apologies, but what new information have we learnt? There was a significant delay in alerting police, something hospital bosses apologised for. Lucy Letby was removed from the neonatal unit in July 2016, but it took almost a year for senior hospital management to then contact the police, telling the inquiry they were conducting their own investigations and hadn't found any evidence. She was arrested more than a year later. The inquiry also revealed more about Letby's character, including that some of her colleagues liked her, while others found her cold, strange and uncompassionate. Some junior doctors called her Nurse Death. It also emerged that Letby failed her final student placement in 2011 over concerns about her competence, empathy and clinical knowledge. The inquiry also shed more light on Lucy Letby's earlier training placements at Liverpool Women's Hospital from 2012 onwards. It heard babies' breathing tubes were found to have been dislodged at an unusually high rate, 40% of the shifts Letby worked. In 2013, at the Countess of Chester Hospital, Letby gave a newborn baby boy 10 times the dose of morphine required, a potentially fatal error that a colleague picked up. 3 years later, she gave antibiotics to a baby that didn't need them. The inquiry heard within the neonatal unit there was a rift between nurses and doctors and consultants and senior managers, and that many staff feared they'd lose their jobs if they spoke out about their concerns. When paediatricians did raise the alarm, they said management didn't listen and accused them of targeting Letby. Families of Letby's victims told the inquiry the hospital's management had kept them in the dark. Some found out information about the investigations through the media. Some didn't even know their child's death was being investigated until Letby was arrested. The inquiry also heard grieving parents were given no support or counselling. The inquiry was wrapped up despite calls from Letby's lawyer, as well as former hospital bosses, to suspend it until Letby's criminal case is reviewed. They argue the inquiry is built on the assumption that Letby is guilty, but the former nurse is currently awaiting the decision from the Criminal Cases Review Commission on her latest challenge to her multiple convictions. Lady Justice Thirlwall will deliver her report and recommendations this autumn.